Yo, what's up boys, and welcome to hopefully my first of a few ARMA 2 DayZRP videos. If you guys didn't see my video a few days ago talking about hashtag make DayZRP great again, the essential idea behind it was DayZRP right now, which is of course on DayZ Standalone, is kind of shit, which I went into detail on the reasons in that video, but I said obviously I like Standalone, it does some things really well, but unfortunately all of the servers which claim to be RP servers like DayZRP, they are literally just DayZ standalone servers with rule sets, which in my opinion, and I think many other people's opinions, if you think about it logically, you can't make it that good of an RP experience without, sufficient modding tools, admin tools, custom mods, custom spawns, custom settlements, custom everything. Like, if you can't do all that stuff, you're kind of limited to DayZ standalone and how it wants to operate, which DayZ standalone is not made as an RP game. It's made as a run around, loot shit, and shoot each other. Like, it's not made for RP. But if you're playing something like ARMA 2 or an ARMA 3, you are able to, make the server exactly how you want it to be. So, after that little rant I made, of course, with Fred, as I talked about in that video, basically what we came out from that was DayZRP staff still don't want to make an ARMA 2 or an ARMA 3 mod, at least from what I've seen. Maybe, but it feels like most people, even in that community, are all, oh yeah, there's no point of going back to ARMA 2, it's going to die like it did last time. There's no point of doing an ARMA 3 Desolation server. We've tried that and it died. I don't know why they're all so negative, but they seem very against that idea, although I feel like the logic of, standalone being very limited in that sense, it makes sense. So this community, which I'm playing on this server, is one which needs your help, which will have information and stuff in the description. I'll be talking about a few things which make the server cool and different, talking about the future of the server, and as a whole, it's an ARMA 2 DayZRP server, which is exactly what I wanted again. Back in the ARMA 2 DayZRP series times, which were like 3 years ago on my channel, I feel like I didn't use DayZRP and didn't play DayZRP enough and make it a big enough part of my channel. Like, I made like 40 videos in total, but I should have invested more time. I should have made more videos, and I'm kind of feeling bad that I didn't now, looking back at how awesome it was compared to what we have now with, no modding tools, etc, etc. But either way, just a disclaimer, but this community, which is DayZAwaken, by the way, links and stuff in the description, it isn't necessarily going to be the go-to community for ARMA 2 DayZRP. I've talked to the staff and a few of the admins, and it does seem like they know what they're doing, and the stuff which you'll see on the server, which is custom, in this video, obviously I didn't show everything which is custom because it was just a very brief look over it. It seems good and it seems promising as long as people come over to it, factions start being created, settlements start being created, and they bring it in the right direction. I feel like it could be a really good server. Everyone has to start off at one point. Like, it's not like DayZRP just woke up and was the best DayZRP server for standalone out there. It took a lot of time and a lot of work, but I do honestly believe this community can do this. But if not, then, there's always going to be other communities out there trying to do, hopefully, exactly what you'll see this community doing. So talking about some features and stuff, unfortunately TFR is not in the mod right now, and I don't have any voiceover IP that I can show you from this gameplay. I mean, I do, but I'm not going to let you hear it because it's just like awkward RPing. But the voiceover IP in ARMA 2 by default is better. There's a better sounding voiceover IP setting, which is why a lot of people are outraged after going from ARMA 2 standalone RP to or thinking back to the ARMA 2 days where voice of IP was better in a game which is much older than standalone. Like, standalone's voice of IP sounds like shit. It sounds pretty good in this, it's not as directional, but it is pretty decent. It'll do for the meanwhile until they eventually add TFR, but we are going to be holding back on adding TFR until, of course, people are a bit more settled in and there's more people playing on the server. Even right now, on the first day of this launch, and there was around 30 people are still playing it, which is pretty good to hear. And I don't know, I'm just happy to be back to the old voice of IP, which I can hear, and it doesn't sound like shit. It's going to be kind of hard to sell people on the idea of ARMA 2 for a lot of people who have played standalone RP exclusively, but just trust me, go back and try it out. Go on the server, try it out, and see what you think. There's just some things which make this better than standalone RP because, there's actual helis, there's custom weapons. You can still load magazines in this mod. You can still unload magazines. You can still take attachments off some weapons in this mod. Like, there's so many things. There's settlements. We've got the ability to customize the map. We've got the ability to add in any mod they want, like TFR is going to be added, which will allow you to have really high quality voice over IP, any weapon they want, any vehicle they want. Like I said, there's already helis and planes in it, which is a really big part of the whole faction thing, in my opinion. It's kind of stupid how everyone's like, oh yeah, I'm the biggest, baddest faction in Shinaris, but look at me, I've got a broken down fucking piece of shit car. It's weird. It's going to be a while until Standalone, I think, is really in a good place for RP. And because of the fact that it doesn't have modern tools and it doesn't have, you know, full control over server time, spawning shit in, stuff like that, it's not going to be as good. They have already started doing events on the server. I think we're trying to do, like, you know, a few events every day, or maybe just one event every day. It'll probably lighten down as the days go on. But still, that is going to be something which you're going to find in the server, which is something I think DayZRP never really did too much for some reason. They had the ability to spawn stuff in, and they don't want to just constantly spawn things in and have these ridiculous events every single day of, like, the Russians invading Shinaris, and they've got a convoy, and it's got big bad weapons. But it's something admins can do very easily, and if we're decent at RP, and then it's a cool situation to have happen. Like, Infostar and all of those admin tools are there to be used to, you know, make things like this happen for RP communities, so why not use those tools at your disposal? You would have also noticed earlier on in the gameplay something which, again, Standalone doesn't have. Not that I'm trying to, you know, say all the things that this does have and all the things that Standalone doesn't have. You know, Standalone, you can still tie people up, blah, blah, blah. Don't think you can do that in this. Maybe you can. But you can also actually pat down people instead of out of character typing in chat and being pats down for radio. Do I find anything? You can actually pat someone down. It'll tell you whether they've got a radio in their pocket, you hear a buzzing sound, or tell you whether someone's got, like, you know, something sharp like a knife, or if their backpack is heavy, kind of thing. So you get a good idea just by patting down someone, whether they've got something in the backpack, whether they're lying about something, instead of having to rely on out of character text and stuff like that. You will notice when flying around Shinaris a bit, I can't remember the exact community which they took this from, but of course we do have some custom settlements around the map. They've got some edits in Chernogorsk and also in Electro, so you'll see some trains which have been thrown off the tracks. You'll see in between Chernogorsk and Electro a little settlement which you can obviously use for roadblocks, and eventually once the server is popular, there will be, you know, people constantly driving around. Like, vehicles should be popular in a mod, I think, like this, you know, to get people from point A to point B. Helicopters are going to be things, planes are going to be things, instead of having to rely on walking everywhere. The map's also smaller, which I might think is a bad thing, but in my opinion it isn't. Honestly, while playing this for a few minutes, I didn't miss the enterable buildings that you had in DayZ Standalone. And also, keep in mind, like, again, this isn't like a shit-talking DayZ Standalone video, it's just, you know, talking from an RP standpoint. What I want, like, enterable buildings, some of them are cool, but they just aren't necessary. There's still a decent amount of enterable buildings in this, so it's really not going to be something which I'm going to be missing. You will also see in the gameplay the ability to look at your journal, where you can see how many zombies you've killed, how many bandits you've killed. So of course there's a humanity system, which will play a small part of this, but not a big one. There's of course so many more animals, and you can also gut those animals. You'll also see the blood test kit. Just keep in mind, the DayZ mod, at least from what I know, it still kind of gets regular updates. They've still been updating the UI and adding in the blood test kit, and you're just adding things into it to make it better. It's still something which does actually get updates, or if it doesn't get any updates now, at least it did get updates probably from the last time which you played it, and I know it did from when I last played it, which is really cool to see. It's not like you're going to be going back to this old thing which is dead and stagnant. It's something which can be built upon, and you will see fresh things in it, even though it does have a old familiar feel. Another thing, again, Norris is Nazi propaganda and how great ARMA 2 is. Standalone still does things better. I just want to make sure that's definitely accurately conveyed, because otherwise people will just think I'm shit talking Standalone when I'm not. But of course with this you've got the ability to have as many slots on a server as you want as well, which I feel like Standalone is actually held back with DayZRP because it's only 60 slots per server, which is a bit shit considering how big the map is. I feel like you'd probably have like 80, 70 slots hopefully on this, and it is a smaller map. Everyone's got vehicles, so you're going to come across people, you're going to come across settlements which are guarded by people, you're going to have good voice for IP, you're going to see all these new weapons every day. Standalone does have a decent amount of weapons these days, but just think about the variety in weapons you're going to come across in here. There's just so many more weapons in ARMA 2 by itself, but keep in mind, of course, this does also, of this mod, which isn't too big, it's just like a small download on the website. Obviously this is whitelisted, you know, information and stuff in the description, but yeah, there is the download for the mods on top of the DayZ files, so you will find you know, a bunch of custom weapons which you've never seen before on top of Arma 2 ones, which I'm sure a lot of them you probably haven't even touched in the experiences. I know I haven't touched a lot of them. The same goes with vehicles as well. Although there is custom vehicles, there's still a lot of vehicles in Arma 2 and Arma 2 Operation Arrowhead which I've just never seen, never drove, etc, etc. This is like a really badly put together video, but hopefully you can get the general idea of what I'm talking about. I thought with these guys emailing me and saying, oh yeah, we're starting an Arma 2 server, it would be bare bones basic DayZ mod and would be really nothing to it. They'd have no idea what the fuck we're talking about, have no idea what the fuck we're doing, but it does seem like it's decently put together and we do have our right intentions going into this. You would have seen, you know, the few custom areas in the map earlier on, and you know, the script where you can load shit, blah 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 in the background. It's looking pretty decent right now, and as long as it's actively supported by you guys. Also, you do have to be 15 or above. I'm sorry for the 12-year-olds out there, but Standalone RP was exactly the same. It should be that way. It's hard to take a zombie apocalypse scenario seriously. And also, there's fucking zombies in it. So you guys would have seen that in the gameplay earlier as well. There's actual zombies. There's a bunch of zombies, and there's like runners and shit. It's cool. Yeah, no, it's a big surprise. But Standalone, you forget about it. It just doesn't have that many zombies in it. Zombies aren't a threat. Anyway, I've gone off my train of thought, so I've got no idea what I'm talking about. TLDR, it looks pretty good. Check it out in the description below. DayZAwaken. If it's not this mod, hopefully it will be something else in the future. I am going to take a few days waiting for you guys to sign up to the server, to whitelist, to put on your apps, etc, etc. I've said etc, etc like a bunch of times in this video, but yeah, until I do start playing on the server. I know Jugs is going to be coming back to the server as well, which is really cool to hear. So hopefully when I do start my series on this, which I will of course do alongside the standalone series, it will be one which I've prepared, and it's not just going to be me going in like a complete idiot going, what the fuck is this? Just like I did with the DayZ Standalone, or the DayZRP Arma 2 mod years and years ago. I went into it not really knowing much about RP. That was like my first RP scenario before the life mods and stuff like that. But now I know kind of how to set something up and make it a good series, I think. Anyway, that is pretty much it. Like I said, it just requires you guys to do a bit of work to make this not suck, or at least a few of you guys to do a bit of work, and hopefully we'll see something really cool. I know there's a bunch of groups, which I know from the old Arma 2 days coming back to this. Hopefully a few of my other friends from Arma 2 DayZRP days should come back. Cat, Jugs, Woodsy, aka my son Pandy. I hope he comes back, because Standalone, it's good, but it's just, it's definitely missing the whole, you know, it's made for an RP kind of feel to it. Anyway, thanks a lot for watching. Feel free to leave any thoughts in the comment section below, any suggestions. I'm sure the creators of this mod will be looking at them. Don't forget to comment, subscribe, more good stuff, and I can't do outros, and I'll see you guys next time. Hopefully looking forward to some good old Arma 2 DayZRP days. Fingers crossed, it could be terrible. I really don't know.